What if your choir could make money singing without selling a single ticket? Like no hall rental, no marketing campaign, zero risk. Just show up and do your thing and walk home with a check. Sound amazing? Well, that is the gig economy for choirs. And today we're going to break down exactly how that works and how you can avoid the usual pitfalls. Welcome to the Choir Genius channel. I'm Tom Metzger. And welcome to our series on making more money for your choir. Last time we talked about producing your own show and everything that goes into that, the volatility, the risk, and the massive upside. And today we're going to talk about the opposite model where someone else handles all of that for you, all the marketing, all the risk, and you just show up and sing and walk home with a check. In practice, making this work well boils down to 5 things in a simple system. Make your service attractive to event organizers, make it easy to find, handle the inquiries and negotiations well, do a great performance, and then set yourself up for that sweet repeat business. Now, as usual, this topic is a little bit too big to cover in detail in a 8 to 10 minute video, so we've got a long blog entry on choirgenius.com linked in the description, so go down there and click on that if you want all the gory details. And at the end of the video, we're going to rank the gig economy on our choir revenue leaderboard, and so stay to the end for that. Now let's get into it. So when we're talking about gigs, what are you actually selling? The first thing you need to do is put yourself in the shoes of the event organizer. And they're not thinking in terms of, I want a choir. They're thinking in terms of, I have a problem and I need a solution. And so the question is, what are the solutions that you're offering? It's not just, I have this choir and we can do a set. It's maybe you can provide a small ensemble. Yes, maybe the whole ensemble. Maybe just a quartet walking around. Maybe a certain kind of festival set. What are the things that you're able to do, and can you map that to the problems that event organizers are likely to have? Because the easier you make it for an event organizer to understand how you solve their problem, the more gigs you're going to book. And yeah, gigs are definitely skewed towards the smaller end of the ensemble scale. One of the reasons that my quartet, Real Time, sang on hundreds of shows all around the world is it was just 4 people. We're easy to move, easy to put somewhere. We've got our set all defined. And so if you and your group can supply those smaller, more flexible ensembles, you're definitely going to be able to book more gigs. So as you're preparing to put together some marketing materials here, don't focus on what you are, focus instead on what you can do. Event planners need clear, short descriptions of why they should hire you, and you should be able to answer these 4 questions instantly. What style of music do you perform? What kind of events are you ideal for? What kind of ambiance do you create? And yeah, how big is your group? Or what size of groups can you provide out of your major group? For example, I'm going to read you one. We're a 16-voice chamber choir specializing in energetic crossover repertoire. We're perfect for festivals, civic events, and corporate receptions where you want high-impact music in shorter sets. That clarity makes booking simple. And the other critical piece of preparation here is you need to have one person who is actually empowered to speak for the group. So when the inevitable request comes in and they say, well, what do you charge? They can say, this is what we charge. And they don't have to go say, I'll go talk to everybody else. Because that's professionalism from the perspective of the event organizer. They get their answers right away. Now, most choirs don't get any inquiries for gigs for one very simple reason, and that is that the event people in their area don't know they exist. And so, of course, one of the major things that you need, perhaps the table stakes thing that you need here, is a website, and a website that says, yes, we are for hire, that has a beautiful promotional video that quickly describes what you're like and what kind of problems you solve, that has a lot of beautiful photos of your group to create that impression, and also, of course, contact details that actually work. And another emerging solution here is called choreverse.com, where there are 20,000 groups listed, and a lot of event organizers are starting to go there to look for groups in their area that solve the specific kind of problems that they have. So if you haven't gone to choreverse.com, go there now and claim your listing, and it should help with this getting gigs thing. And finally, even though, yes, you definitely need that website, you don't have to rely on passive methods here. You can actually just go look up who are all the event organizers in your area and get in touch with them, send them a promo package so that you're top of mind when they start thinking about the problems that they have and the solutions that they need. So now, you've done your prep, you've done your marketing, and inevitably a request comes in. What you need to do now is to play the problem solver role. You're going to find out everything that you can about the event, and you're going to explain how you've done this all before, you know exactly what you're doing, and you're going to be the perfect fit for this particular request. So, for example, are they asking for background music here, or are you a featured performer? Is there going to be a stage, or are you going to be walking around? And how long do they want you to sing for? I remember one time when we asked that question and the answer was about 30 minutes, which sounds great. Then it became clear later that it was actually 3 10-minute sets over a 3-hour period, which is completely different. Other important questions that are going to make you look professional are to ask, are meals and travel included? Who's handling the sound system? Is it one set or a bunch of different sets? And if you can create that sense that you know all about this and you've done it many times before, then you're going to make them comfortable that you could solve their problem and you will get booked. Now we're going to talk about preparing to do a great job of this gig. But before we get there, if you've made it this far into the video, you probably care a lot about creating a sustainable choir, making your choir better, and that's exactly what we're all about here at Choir Genius. So like this video, share it with somebody you might be interested, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, click the bell icon so YouTube will let you know when we make new videos about how to make your choir better. And now let's talk about executing on that performance, and then we'll rank this on our leaderboard. One minor detail you don't want to omit from your checklist here is to make sure that all the right voice parts can show up in the right numbers to make this a successful performance that represents your group well. So use some kind of attendance tool to make sure that people have committed to that ahead of time, such as Choir Genius definitely does this well. There are other options, but make sure you're going to show up in the right numbers with all the right voice parts, and so that you can really do a great job. Now, when you're preparing for this gig, the music matters, absolutely, but the show matters more than the repertoire. And so when you're picking the music, you want to make sure you're taking the whole experience into account. My quartet used to do what we called a standing ovation package, which is basically it's a short 25-minute set, but it starts with something high energy and then moves on to something more like familiar, and then there's some novelty in the middle, a little bit of maybe a ballad or something slow and rich, and then at the end, 2 or 3 super high energy songs with what we would call big tags, so that we knew at the end of it, people are going to be excited, they're going to jump out of their seat, they're going to want more. That's the kind of emotional response that an event organizer would love to see. And the secret, too, is that a lot of the magic happens between the songs. And so instead of simply introducing each song in a kind of normal and boring way, you're going to want to have a narrative that goes through the whole show, that connects it, that maybe has a sense of humor, and just keep them on the edge of their seat, even when you're not singing. If you can do that, you're going to have amazing results and great reviews. And after the show, your job isn't quite done. You need to follow up. You need to thank the event organizer, thank the people who put on the show, ask for a testimonial. Those testimonials are absolutely gold. They're going to go on your website, Google's going to search them, and now you're going to get more hits. You're going to have more confidence from people who go to your website that you can do a great job for them. And now, once again, the moment you've all been waiting for. We're going to rank gig revenue on our leaderboard of revenue streams for choirs. So let's take a look. First of all, stability. Well, it's initially hit or miss, but repeat clients can make it very predictable, 3 out of 5. Scalable. Well, it's limited by the number of gigs you can physically perform, and so not that scalable, 2 out of 5. Low cost. Here's where it really shines. The event organizers carry most of the financial risk. It costs you nothing. Literally 5 out of 5. Couldn't be any better. And finally, control. Well, you control your product, but you don't control the event, and you're going to have to be at the whim of whatever happens there. So that's, again, a 2 out of 5, with the overall rating being 3. So to wrap it all up, again, we have these 5 things you need to do. Structure your offer in a way that's going to be attractive to event organizers. Make your offer super visible and even contact them so that you're likely to be top of mind when they need you. 3, learn how to handle those inquiries and negotiations and be professional at that stage. 4, execute on the day of the show so that it's super easy for the event organizer and they love the experience, as well as the audience, of course, loves the experience. And finally, follow up, thank people, and get those testimonials, create that repeat business. If you can do that, you're going to have lots of gigs, and that would be a success in my book. Now, the truth is, for most groups, gigs are never going to be the biggest part of your budget, of your revenue. But it's such easy, enjoyable, low-cost, low-risk revenue that it's really worth putting time and energy into getting more gigs. Also, the singers usually really enjoy this because they get to be out in the public, doing their thing, shining out on the stage, and that's one of the reasons they love singing in the first place. So, as you know, we've got lots of videos still remaining in our series on how choirs make money, so subscribe to the channel, click on the bell icon, and until then, get out there, book those gigs, do some great singing.